What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Chicago Bulls and Golden State Warriors game reaction. I'm not going to make this video too long, ladies and gentlemen. We do have quite a few things to discuss about, but at the end of the day, it's one of those videos where I don't really want to be here too long talking about the current Bulls situation as it begins to get worse and worse. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls game today. Obviously, what do you think the future is going to look like for the Chicago Bulls now, as Zach LaVine is apparently injured, and hopefully it won't be for too long, but another injury for the Chicago Bulls, and the blowout loss to the Golden State Warriors. We've got a lot to get through. I will talk about Zach LaVine first, ladies and gentlemen. He did leave the game 3 minutes in and he did not return. He ended up going to get an MRI pretty much a couple of, I would say an hour or so after that injury. Left the United Center early. I'm assuming this is so if there's nothing serious, he could potentially play against Boston, but either way, we lost Zach LaVine for this game, and I get it. I understand that Zach LaVine's a big part of this team. I understand that this game became 10 times more harder when Zach LaVine left the game and did not return. I get it's a much more difficult game, and I can understand even if we lose to the Golden State Warriors just because of how difficult the circumstance was with Zach LaVine. But what I don't understand is why the effort levels dropped so poorly for the Chicago Bulls in this game, to the point where it was almost unrecognizable the type of team that we were. We prided ourselves on defense throughout the whole season so far. We had one of the best deflection teams in the NBA. We were leading the NBA in steals. We had all NBA level defenders in Caruso and Lonzo, in which one of them played today in Lonzo Ball. And regardless of all the injuries that we may face, regardless of everything that we face in the future, defense is something that we've always prided ourselves on. So the effort level on the defensive end is extremely disappointing in my opinion, and I get Zach LaVine's a big part of how this game goes. I understand the mentality and maybe the heads drop when you see Zach LaVine hurt and not coming back because of how big he is for the team, but that's inexcusable to put the effort in that you did defensively. Something as simple as tracking back on defense. When we're making shots and you see the Golden State Warriors leak out and we don't run back, that's inexcusable in my eyes. And I'm going to give criticism to the Chicago Bulls team, because we have seen 2 games against the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors in which the Golden State Warriors didn't have Draymond Green or Klay Thompson in this game, and the Brooklyn Nets didn't have Aldridge, Harris, whatever the case may be. Of course, we have injuries as well, but none of these teams are playing fully healthy, so I don't want to hear that excuse that the Chicago Bulls were not healthy in today's game. Neither were the Golden State Warriors, and at that time, neither were the Brooklyn Nets. The reality is, if we lose those games, fair enough. It's a great opposition that we're versing. You have to take it on the chin and move on. But the effort of this game is something I simply cannot let stand by and let it go without even mentioning it one single bit. There are so many poor defensive displays on this team, and it's unrecognizable from the start of the season till now how poor on defense we were today. We gave the Golden State Warriors their season high in points, which again is not very good for the Chicago Bulls, is it? And we've been blown out for 2 games in a row now. So what can we say and what can we do to improve? To be honest, this team really needs to look hard at itself, because no matter who's out on this team, we've seen so many players out in protocols before. We've seen players get injured before. This is something that's been a reoccurring theme for the Bulls, and it just doesn't seem like we're ever going to have a healthy team all together at one time. At least that's what it feels like from this perspective at the moment. But you have to put effort on the defensive end. That is the number one thing that you have to do. If your shots are not falling like they were today, none of our shots were really falling at all. The one thing you have to do is put yourself in a defensive mindset. You have to make sure that you're guarding guards. You have to make sure you don't run out and transition, that you allow them to run out and transition. You have to make sure you're matched up with your opponent. You have to do the fundamental basketball things on the defensive end. Allowing a player like Tony Bradley to guard guards because you're not matching up on defense is a basic thing that should not be happening for the Chicago Bulls, yet it happens so often today that it led to easy opportunities, easy layups, easy buckets, all times. Golden State Warriors did not have to work very hard at all for the shots that they took today. Almost every single one of their shots were extremely wide open, from the 3-point line, off of a screen, from the mid-range, from the paint. Almost everything was a easy opportunity for them, and that's why they scored the amount of points that they did and the confidence that they gained from that situation as well. every single shot went in for the Golden State Warriors, and that's because the defensive effort was not there from this team. I can't wait to get Alex Caruso back. I can't wait to get Derrick Jones Jr. back. Hopefully Zach LaVine is not out for long. I can't wait to get the defensive-minded players back in this team again so we could just have some leadership on the defensive end. The offensive end, I'm honestly not worried about. I know when we're at our best, we will score with the best of them. We will have enough players, enough chemistry in the team going forward to score. Of course, turnovers, isolation, big issues, we know that. But I am confident in this team that we will have enough chemistry at the time where we need it to be able to score as much points as possible. We are one of the teams that do have the best offenses in the league. We're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league. We've scored 130 points multiple times throughout the course of this season. We've done it before, and I'm sure we can do it again. But defense is something that has to be the consistent point in every single one of these games. Whether we score well or we don't, defense is key. You cannot sleep on the job defensively. You cannot not track back defensively. You cannot score points like a layup or whatever it is and have the Golden State Warriors outrun you to the other side of the floor when you've scored. It's fundamental things. This is lack of effort. It's lack of motivation. It's lack of desire to go and play. These are the things that what we saw from the Chicago Bulls today. And I know many people will say that I'm being harsh. I'm not being fair to the Chicago Bulls because of all these injuries. I understand that we may have lost even if Zach LaVine was here as well, because the defensive energy was not good enough to win this game with or without Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's a huge loss, but it doesn't defend how the Chicago Bulls defended today. That's how I personally see it, and that's inexcusable in every single way. I hope the Bulls can pick it up in the next game. We are 27-13, I believe. I think it's 27-13, and our next game is against Boston off of a back-to-back. So I'm very worried about this upcoming game against Boston, as we've seen how much energy we're putting into these games at the moment. So this team needs to really look at itself and try to figure out how to get that energy back so we can at least go and compete against Boston. It's not even about winning this game anymore. We have to compete. We've seen these last two games, we've not competed with these teams. We need to compete in these games to give us that chance to win, to give us at least a small glimmer, an opportunity to win these games. And with these players, they have to provide that energy defensively. They need to work their ass off defensively. They need to make sure that they're not going to be the ones that are going to be slacking. If you're going to lose while you're working as hard as possible. And that is a question that we've seen today that I'm not sure the Bulls players can defend themselves. I'm not sure if I can look at all these Bulls players and they can truly say in 100% their heart of hearts that they gave everything on the defensive end today. I can guarantee you there's a lot of players that will not be saying that if they're being honest with themselves today. So it's a harsh game. It's a game full of criticism. I've always been a guy to criticize this team when they're not playing well. I understand every now and then the occasional loss you can pick up and move on from, but when the Bulls don't play well, when the team doesn't provide energy, when the team is not living up to the expectation or even the standard in the NBA, you have to call this team out. And I am calling this team out, ladies and gentlemen. This team did not perform well enough. Zach LaVine is not a good enough excuse to not bring the energy defensively. And until we see that change, then the criticism will go away for the Chicago Bulls. But as long as we see that defensive energy with or without Zach LaVine, with or without half of these guys on the team, I don't care if it's the G League players on this team that are getting the bulk of the minutes, you have to try defensively. And that's something that I want to see in the next game. I hope the Bulls can show what they're capable of defensively. Offensively, live with the result, but defensively, I cannot let that slide. No one should let that slide. If anyone is saying, calm down, it's just one game, we lost Zach LaVine, I think you need to watch that game and really see the energy levels that they put in, because I think that's inexcusable for any NBA athlete in the NBA. So I'm going to end this video here. It's a harsh one, but I'm always going to be harsh in this circumstance. The Bulls don't deserve praise when they play like that. Simple as that. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls, ladies and gentlemen. If you like or if you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments below. But either way, that's how I feel at this point. That's how frustrated I am with this team. And hopefully we can see a different result in the next one against Boston. Take care and peace.